In this video, we are going to show you a few examples on how to use a circular polarizer filter, from cutting out glare from rocks and water to saturating the fall colors. And just as importantly, we are going to explain when not to use one. We are on one of my favorite hikes in Arizona, and we got here just after peak fall colors. Beautiful morning to all you guys. It is we're here obviously, like I said, in one of my favorite spots in all of Arizona, one of my favorite hikes. We're here at peak fall color, and it is so cold this morning. I think we pulled up, it was like 27 degrees Fahrenheit. So we decided to block off all day today to do this hike. It's a 6-mile hike round trip, out and back, so 6 miles total. And we wanted to come out here. We have a couple of challenges, and that is the wind. It's really windy today. It's been windy all week all over Arizona, and so making these leaves sharp when we want to capture, or if we want to capture these leaves, it's making it sharp, and just having these beautiful colors here, taking our time, really exploring the hike all the way through, not just kind of walking from one end to the other, you know, with an end goal. We're really going to take our time, really kind of go over the details of this place, because it is, like I said, one of the most beautiful hikes, if not the most beautiful hike in Arizona.
The first thing I want to talk about is when not to use a polarizer. The scene right here that I have is the little river with the stone wall behind it, and it makes for a beautiful reflection shot. And this is when you actually don't want to use a polarizer, because if I spin my polarizer right here, you can see that it's actually taken away the reflection, because reflection is glare, and the polarizer takes away the glare.
Alright guys, so we're having to wait because the wind keeps picking up, and with all the kind of ripples in the water from the wind, it's hard to get this reflection. So what she's doing is we're just kind of waiting until there's kind of a dip in the wind, taking that shot. And she tried both with the polarizer, without it, and like she said, that glare is being cut, which is the reflection is being cut by that polarizer, so now you really don't want to use it. And we're also getting a lot of kind of leaves falling down into the river too, so we're kind of waiting for these leaves. When the wind blows, a bunch of leaves drop down into the river, and then there's this kind of little creek here, and we're just kind of waiting and kind of timing that right. So a lot of little experimenting, and some of it's failing, some of it's actually really nice. So that's kind of the fun part of this, is just kind of experimenting and coming up with new stuff. So, all right. Alright guys, so what I found here is this beautiful little scene. There's two separate trees. Actually, I think it's the same tree, but it's got two kind of main trunks coming up. One comes up on the right and kind of splits off, and a second one, a smaller one, kind of comes and crosses over the other way. And then everything around it is just these beautiful fall colors. So I'm trying to pretty much, there's two subjects in this. It's the color, the fall color, and it's also these two tree trunks here. And it's an absolutely beautiful scene, but I got this wind that keeps gusting. So I'm having to do two things. I'm bumping up my ISO a little bit. I'm at ISO 400. I'm at f5.6. And my shutter speed right now is at 1/30th of a second. And that's okay when the wind stops. So what I'm doing is just trying to time it. So when the wind stops, I hit it. Everything's kind of stopped for just a second. And what I'm doing is I'm zooming in to make sure that everything is sharp. And I got a couple of these really beautiful, kind of orangish colored leaves that are different from the yellow in all the rest of them. So what I'm doing is I'm having a focus stack. So I'm going to shoot one of those when the wind is absolutely stopped, and try and really fast, trying to photograph taking where the tree trunk is sharp and taking another shot. So it's a really difficult shot, but it's an absolutely beautiful scene. Alright guys, so as I'm shooting this scene here, the ice is melting, so what I wanted was, you see a bunch of frozen leaves underneath the water, and then you have some pine needles underneath the water, and I've taken a couple of shots already, but I want to show you guys, this is when you want to use a polarizer, because I want to see underneath the water. There's a bunch of glare because it's frozen, there's a bunch of ice, and a bunch of bubbles and stuff, so you can see here when I spin it, it cuts the glare out completely. This is the look that I'm going for, and so now what I'm doing is just taking shots as the water slowly unfreezes, like halfway through my photo now, like right down the middle, it's frozen, and the other half is the water's not frozen anymore, so it's kind of a cool shot. So I've taken a couple of photos here, but this is really where the polarizer shines, is when you're wanting to see underneath the water to cut all that glare. I'm not trying for reflections or anything like that, so this is a beautiful, beautiful little scene.
There's just so much going on here, so much color, so many different leaves and different shapes, and it's just, you have to concentrate on the small picture here, otherwise it's just overwhelming. It's beautiful. So guys, what you can also use the polarizer for is to intensify your colors. I mean, obviously you can also do that in post-production, but you can do it right here on scene. So what I have right here is a bunch of leaves in yellow, red and green, and what the polarizer actually does is it brings out the green like a lot, and it takes away a lot of the blue in your photo, which just gives it a little bit more of a warmer tint, and that makes for beautiful, the beautiful fall colors to really pop actually.
Alright guys, so in this composition here, I'm actually using the polarizer even though I do want reflection. The reason why is I want to cut off some of the glare, so it's actually kind of adding a little bit of contrast and a little bit of a vignette in the bottom of the in the frame, and so it's cutting out just a little bit of the glare, kind of, I guess, kind of taking the edge off a little bit, you could say. And so it's still, I'm utilizing the polarizer filter, but not completely cutting the glare. I still want the reflection, but just kind of maybe damper it down just a little bit. So yeah, absolutely beautiful scene. Alright guys, so I just want to mention really fast that there's 2 spots left on our Northern Arizona workshop with the man himself, Brendan Vanson, January 10th through the 18th. We'll leave a link into the description for that workshop. It's going to be amazing here in the winter time. This trip or this hike here is a possibility because it is in Sedona. So you guys like this area and like this video, maybe consider that workshop. It's a beautiful place, White Pocket, Lake Powell, Antelope Canyon. It's going to be amazing. So right now we're going to start heading back. We might get a few photos on the way back. Kind of the sun's up high now, so the lighting's going to be a bit different. So
Alright guys, this is it from us from this video, and see you in the next one.
bye.
Bye.